Good day, everyone. So, we are going to report about the Module 5 Light Side of the Internet, presented by Matidon Girisuelo, Hannah May Blancaflor, Beverly Gloria, Kimberly Bacamante, Geneva Sereno, Judilyn de la Calzada, and Blasi Faith Ginang.
First, let's have the internet and the interpersonal communication. So what is interpersonal communication? Interpersonal communication is a type of communication that takes place between or among two or more people. It includes conveying thoughts, ideas, and emotions through by passing messages, either verbal or non-verbal. This type of communication is not just about putting words and speaking it. Rather, it requires the proper facial expressions and other elements such as gestures and body language that adds up to the expression of messages. Since we already know about interpersonal communication, let us proceed to its elements. There are 6 elements of interpersonal communication. The very first one is the communicators. These communicators are the sender and the receiver. And take note, interpersonal is not just about two persons. It can be more than two. For example, in an open forum, there is one sender and many receivers. The sender is the one who is responsible in sending the messages, which is considered as a source, while the one who is listening or the one who receives the message are called the receivers. The second element is the message. The message is the most important element in interpersonal communication. Why? It is because these are the conveyed thoughts and even emotions expressed in different ways like gestures and expressions. For example, nagsugat mi sa ako ang friend sa school and I will tell her like, "Hi sis," but then if I go like, "Hi sis," so you see the same verbal thoughts pero different expressions and different level of excitement. So kaning message, this can be verbal or non-verbal. So you can use sign language in conveying message as well. Now let's proceed to the third element. The third element is the barriers, or also known as the noise. So when it comes to communication studies, the noise means anything that interfere the delivery of a message to someone else. Noise can be external or internal. Example of external noise is the environment or physical discomfort. Like for example, you are talking to someone in the phone pero walay signal tapos dili kayo ka makadungog sa iyaha kay putol-putol. An example of internal noise naman is racism. For example, if racist ka, it could affect your way of communicating with them. It is because you are a racist. The fourth element is the feedback. Now, feedback is like the information we get in response to the message we have sent. A feedback can be positive or negative. And take note that feedback can be verbal or non-verbal. Verbal is that when someone comes to you and tells you that they have received and understood the message you have sent them, or they might want to discuss it. Non-verbal feedback is basically their expressions or gestures. For example, mangutana ka sa imuha friend if okay ra ba siya, tapos iyaha response is tando lang. Nitando lang siya, then that is a non-verbal feedback. The fifth element is the context. Context is the environment where the communicators are in while communicating with each other. For example, naa mo sa school, naa mo sa beach, or even naa lang mo sa balay. So, the context is the entire situation of the communication. Now, let's proceed to the last but not the least element, the channel. The channel is basically the thing through which the communication occurs. So, for example, two people are talking over the phone. So, the phone can be the channel. Also, when we talk about digital media, I will send a message through email. So this emailing process becomes the channel of the communication. However, when it comes to nonverbal communication, the channels is the vibe senses, like your tone, your body language, your facial expression. Also put the channel together in your communication. That would be all, and let's welcome the next reporter.
This is Kimberly Di Bacamante, and I'm going to discuss to you how do internet influence our way of communication. So, paano or giunsa man sa internet pag-influence ato ang way of communication. Sa una, di ba, kung i-share pa sa ato ang mga katigulangan, ang only way of communication nila sa una or to connect is paper lang or face-to-face. Din gani, abot ang point na naka-telephone sila, pag magbayad sila og amount, 5 Gs para maka-call. We cannot deny the fact that internet has been part of our daily lives na jud. Because aminin natin na kita, mga butan nga estudyante, mag-open na yun og Google Class or LMS, di ba? So, mag-open po ta og Facebook or Messenger. So, magkabunta ka na, pagmata ni mo, mag-expect yun ka nga na ay mag-good morning ni mo. Nya, wala di ay to, diba? Char lang. So, pagmata na to sa buntag, mag-open ta og mga platforms na gusto na to i-open. Unana to ang response sa internet. Manang nahimo na to siyang part of our lives. Unana siya ka magnetable. So, as it is the group of interrelated networks, people find it easier and convenient to share contents with peers and other people inside or outside of their boundaries. So, internet considered to be the group of interrelated networks. It is easier for us or convenient sa ato mag-share og mga contents na di na kailangan mamiliti pa para mo share sa imong mga contents nga gusto connect sa other people. So, through internet, napadali ang atuang lives. In today's society, we are very fond, right, of using social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even emails, which we are being used in different fields such as our personal things and as in works and in businesses. So daghan kayo og function sa tua ang internet. So daghan kay tagmahimo sa internet, labi na sa atong mga work and sa atong mga businesses. In this, we can clearly see the influence of internet in our daily lives, particularly in communication, which is very vital in our community. So, pinaagi niini, visible kaayo ang influence sa communication. With the help of internet and innovations integrated with technology, people have a greater ability of being connected with other people regardless of time and distance. Bisag mo kanta pa ka diha og dito ay umaga, dyan ay gabi, oras natin ay magkahiwalay. Walay barrier tungod kay ang internet is very wide. Bisan pag naa ka sa kinatumian sa kalibutan, makakonect mo kay una na ang power sa internet, no? So pinaagi pud sa internet, ma-boost na to atong pagka-creative. Example of these are the messaging applications that let us interact to our families and loved ones through a different world. This is where the integration of the interpersonal communication takes place. So, sama sa kong giingon ganina nga daghan kitag magamit nga mga platforms, nga applications nga maka-communicate sa to or maka-interact sa tua sa atuang mga loved ones nga nasa abroad. Bisan gani ang mga NASA, maka-communicate sa atuang world, na kusig na sila sa Mars, maka-communicate sila dire. So, na ang power sa internet. O, kita pod pinaagi pod ana makabalo ta unsay kanang mga balita karon sa NASA, sa Pag-asa unsa atong weather karon para makapangandam ta. So ana siya ka kuan ang internet wide. So these are the 6 differences of internet over interpersonal communication. So mo ni siya ang kalahian sa communication sa internet o communication sa interpersonal or kana face-to-face jud. The information provided in the internet is more of a written than to an interpersonal communication, which is more of an oral type of conversation, which means that the words are spoken. So ang internet, majority of it is written. Though naa siya yung video call, mga Viber na siya kanang FaceTime, but majority sa communication of internet is more on written than to a personal, interpersonal communication. Words are spoken, oral type siya of conversation. So number 2, communication over the internet is considered undirected since there are lapses in transferring the data or the message. This can result to loads of information that can mislead the communicators about the topic or the action to be taken, unlike to a face-to-face communication that is more directive and the speakers can always take a pause or review the information given whenever needed. So communication in internet considered to be undirected, and the interpersonal communication considered to be more directive. So number 3, messages in internet are often anonymous as it covers a wide range of platforms, resulting to a more diverse type of people involved in the conversation. While in an interpersonal communication, the communicators are personally talking to each other, giving each other the chance to observe other expressions aside from how the speaker speaks. So, di ba lahira ang meeting sa kanang mag face to face niya. Lahira pud ang lahira pud ang response sa internet kay more anonymously magud siya ang internet compare sa interpersonal nga personally taking jud siya. Number 4, since internet is composed of interconnected networks, it captures wide range of audience over the interpersonal type of communication that may vary from its scope. So ang interpersonal communication is kanang nakalimit lang siya kung kinsa lang tong naa, while ang internet is kuan siya kanang makakover siya wide range of audience tungod kay naman gud ka public ang internet. So number 5 is communication over the internet reduced social presence since it takes place in a virtual world. The personal communication itself takes its advantage in creating a stronger relationship among the communicators. So lahi ra gyud ang atong ma-feel no kung personal ang inyong communication o internet yung communication, because in virtual man go dili kuan ra siya makakuan siya og kanang social presence gud maka-reduce siya og social presence, while kung personal communicate mo maka-create mo og strong relationship because of how do kanang the communicators communicate. So nana siya. Number 6, convenience in terms of time is more useful when it comes in using the internet compared to a personal conversation that needs consideration to other factors, including the place and proper timing to be able to reach the goal of sending the right information to the receiver and vice versa. So, convenient kaayo ang internet because anytime, anywhere, pwede siya makagamit sa internet. But kung personal conversation man good, need pa nimo i-consider ang place and proper timing. So dili gid mo pwede nga namo sa open field tapos mag-communicate tapos mag-ulan. So daghan kasi consider na factors. So nanayang kalahian no.
Good morning everyone. I am Lisa Faith Ginang, one of the reporters. So, let's proceed to networking and community. First, what is a network? Network is described as the group of devices that has the capability to connect with each other and also be able to send information. Such devices includes smartphones, laptops, and even computers, which are using different systems of connections to share data and information. So a network, it is a connection of at least two computer systems, either by a cable or a wireless connection. Also, it can be connected by telephone lines, radio waves, satellites, or infrared laser beams. The two very common types of a network are local area network or LAN and the wide area network or WAN. Next, the community in the world of technology. A network of community are series of computer systems which purpose is to give assistance to communities and often provide services, particularly for those communities that are sharing the same goal and belief. So, ang community is ma-engage na sa world of technology. Dali na sila maka-access sa mga informations anytime and anywhere. So what is the Community Technology Centers, or what we call the CTC? The Community Technology Centers are the types of facility headed by different organizations such as the non-profit organizations with a strong assistance from the local and national government. It is a place where people who don't have access to a computer at home can get free or low-cost computer access as well as training. Also, the government and non-profit groups as well as corporations and individual citizens usually work together to develop such facilities. There are 4 goals of network community. First is provide easy access information through the help of functioning networks or resources. Example is the radio, TV, and other digital platforms that you can easily use to access or connect, like Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Second is it gives a trusted platform which can be used by the community in discouraging digital divide. And the third is promote a developed community through different technology engagement. Example, computer and digital gadgets like smartphones to connect in social media world. And lastly, it developed a strong connection with the citizens of the community. So that will be all for the networking and community. And the next is the social capital, which will be discussed by Miss Matey Dawn Resuelo.
Okay, hello everyone. This is Miss Resuelo, and I'm going to discuss to you the lesson 3, which is the social capital. Social capital in the field of technology. So class, what is social capital? So social capital, this is not all about money. This is not also all about geography. So social capitals is all about our relationship na makita nato sa ato ang society. So let's go deeper. What is the meaning of social capital? Social capital are factors that are present in a community or society. It is also the network of values that focuses on maintaining a social relation which can lead to reaching the organization goal. Social capitals requires participation and coordination with every member of the team to be able to come up with an output. So class, ang pasabot ani kay ang social capital is mauda na siya ang set of our shared values, like for example our norms, beliefs, tradition, cultures, and a lot more that allows individuals to work kitang tanan together in a group to achieve class a common purpose. And that purpose, class, is to have a good qualities of life. So generally, kaning social capital, gigamit ni siya to describe how kitang tanan are able to bond together in the society to live harmoniously, like helping one another, motivating and inspiring, and a lot more. Because class, no man is an island. We need each other to learn and grow as one. We need others' information, assistance, trust, favor, love, acceptance, and a lot more. And through bonding with our friends, families, or loved ones, creating relationship towards people, bridging the gap of each individual, and link with people to our interests in life, dili lang ta makakita opportunity. Because class, nowadays, naay technologies. And by that, there's a lot of application like Facebook na mas na-strengthen niya ang atong relationship, dili lang inside our country, but also outside our country. And through the use of technology, we can be able to link, bond, and bridge gap despite of our diversity throughout all nation. And through technology, it is also a way para matabangan ta, para madungagan ang atong social group or ang social network sa ato ang kinabuhi. Class, think about the time you help someone or when someone helped you. Like for example, kanang gusto ka mo trabaho, di ba ang una dyan nimong buhaton anak kay mag-ask ka sa imong mga kaila kung naa sila'y nahibalan na job opportunity. It could be your neighbor, it could be your friend, or your friend online. Di ba kung wala sa imong kaila ang nakabalo kung naabay job opportunity, pero knowing na our world right now is digitalized, you can use the technologies and go search directly to FB or Facebook if there are jobs available. Through the information class of other people, whether online ba siya or someone you know, you can accomplish your goal because na ay tao na matabang sa inyo. Social capitals class, those are tanang relasyon na imong makitaan sa society. And by having those relations of all kinds of people, is maka-enable ta to support one another and help solve problems together. Social group. A social group is a unit of people associated with each other due to their shared belief, characteristic, and principle. Diba class, there are groups of people bisan asa tamo ato. As a person kita, we may belong to many different types of groups. Like for example, our families. Lahi-lahi yung mga papa, lahi-lahi yung mga members of atong families. Our religious group, you could be born again, Catholics, and many more. Our ethnic groups, your workplace colleagues group, our different circles of friends, sports team, the class organization that we're in, and so on and so forth. And actually class in technologies like Facebook, social group is present. Like for example, like a fan page, a group page that we are sharing our similar interest to a particular person or to a particular nabutang. And also in our messenger, we also have a group page like for the famous called GC or GC. Di ba lahi-lahi taninyo mga GC sa particular na mga subject. Lahi-lahi man taninyo mga shared of interest, lahi-lahi taninyo mga topic or mga beliefs. One side of social capital, variety based on direct approach. So there are 3 of them, and those are bonds, bridges, and linkage. So let's go first, what is bonds? So class, ang bonds, this is the link between people sharing the same culture and ethnicity. Most common example is loved ones and friends. So kaning bonding class is mo ni siyang nag-describe sa atong connection between similar group of peoples that share the same characteristic. This might be our age, our hobbies, ang sports that helps to create a bond between 2 people or a group of people. So kaning bonding class is mo ni siya ang the strongest type of social capital. Why? Because ma-form ang good dari ang atong ang close relationship between sa duwa ka tao. And these bonds form through the development of social ties. In other words, friendships. So dili lang for friendship, this also can include the family members as well as neighborhood. And through class, know that through the connections that people are having, they are willing to help each other and gain social capitals among their peers. And we are more likely to help someone and go up with someone we have bonds or na-close nato rather than those someone na wala ta kaila sa ilahan. Right? Right. So the next one is the bridges. So bridges class, this category is focusing on more varied relationship compared to bonds which is beyond its scope. Example, associates. So kaning bridging social capital class is lahi ra ni siya sa bonding kay ang iyahang manggong ties is dili kay siya as strong, dili kay siya kusog, rather than sa katong bonding na actually close relationship between sa duwa ka tao or group of people. Because ang link manggod sa bridging is nagikan siya from a weaker connection such as friend of a friends or colleagues and associates. So the last one is the linkage. So ang linkage class is nag-relate siya to people that are considered in the higher level or the lower level of the hierarchical structure of a society. So ang linking social capital class is mo ni siya ang extension of bridging. For example, kung ang bridging is nag-occur siya horizontally between sa mga tao na naay similar or kaparehas na social economic power or hierarchy, ang linking naman is nag-occur siya vertically between social economic groups which is nag-often refer siya to as community. So it is outside the class of those communities na ang linking takes place. For example, if we take an example and consider two social economic classes, the upper class and the working class, there are millions of people class in each, yet many of them will stick to their own social economic group. But through linking, they are able to penetrate the gap between and develop new contexts and ties in between social boundaries. Aspect of social capital. So, kung social capital, baka sense ka belong ka because there are someone na mutabang sa imuha, mo accept sa imuha, mo trust sa imuha, na kay similar ka ng interest in life ba. And diversity because we are having manggod relationship all kinds of peoples in our community. Also, we are sharing the same values, norms, outlook in life, and citizen power because all of us citizens in our societies are helping one another to grow and learn as individual. Participations like volunteering, helping, like giving your friends or someone na nangitag ka ng tabang sa particular na butang is na kay participation sa ilahang kinabuhi. Reciprocity is mo ni siya ang kuan. Kung mutabang ka sa ubang tao, napoy tao na mutabang si mo, murag mubalira pud ba, mubalik ra pud sa imuha. And feeling of trust and safety because through social capitals is makagain mong gutag close relationship among peoples na makakuan sa itong pagsalig, like for examples kinang mga police, kung na mga kawatan, like anak, makatawag ka og someone na makatabang sa imuha and you will feel the trust and safety nas in your home or surroundings. And networks, bondings, and bridgings, like through social capitals, nag-create siya og kanang mga close relationships, strong ties, or weak ties mandara, to where that can formulate friendships, a friend of a friends, opportunities like kanang mga job opportunities or bridging the gaps dili lang dari sa Philippines pati na pud dito sa ubang country to have murag kanang strong relationship ba towards all nation. So mo ng social capital, the aspect of social capital. The link between internet and social capital. So class, the internet may become a trust-based platform for sharing interests, informing people, disseminating information, and increasing citizen engagement by bringing together people who shared common goals. The individual digital capital of users rely on already existing social capital based on relationships and trust among people. So class karon, ang internet is everywhere in humans' life. Internet is life ika nga. So with a range of tools and application, yet ka ng mga sending and receiving emails, mo na ang common na use of internet. So using mga emails, instant messaging system, or social networks, kita mga online user is makadali rata maka-interact sa atong mga online users. With either sa atong mga family, sa atong friends, sa strangers, or less known people. And class, kaning si internet might become a connector for social movements that works in different contexts but sharing information and useful insight, ma-wider niya or mapalawak niya ang ato ang social networks and promotion of our cooperation. So internet may also support kitang mga user in increasing our social capital while gaining benefits in economic, personal, and cultural terms. So, ang internet class can generate platform of sharing. Like for example, kanang pag-post pag-post sa itong picture sa Facebook, pag my day, sa itong mga status, with regards to social media, in particular jud sa Facebook. Kani magong si Facebook, this represent a platform in which kitang mga tao are mainly connected with our existing offline contacts. Because ang Facebook, kitang mga Facebook user, bringing with them an initial existence social capital. In a sense, ang Facebook manggod can be a sense as a tool na mag-increase ang atong bonding social capital by what? By reinforcing a relationship between people who we already know, kailan na nato, or maybe at the same time, new friendship with friends of friends, or new friendship can be generated from becoming member of group of interest. O ang Facebook pwede po siya maka-generate og mga of bridging social capital by connecting of new people. Ang atong pagsalig class is recognized siya as the most important factor in social capital. So mga internet user, nagadevelop of confident in the technology. And the people they can communicate with on the internet, they also likely to believe na ang mga information on the internet is reliable. So taking the case class of shopping online, buyers have to trust dili lang pud ang seller, but they need to have confidence in the net in which they put their credit cards data. However, beside risk, a number of benefits in shopping online can be identified, such as example, savings, choosing among a wide varieties of products, and reducing waste of time to reaching and visiting shops. So at the same time, ma-experience po sa mga online buyers maka-enlarge sa ilahang social capital by establishing economic relationship with sellers. So class, to sum it up, ang link ni internet ni social capital is to strengthen our bonds with other people online and offline to build a strong relationship and trust among people. Internet also established as a tool to use in order to gain more social capital. Social networking sites measures of effectiveness in building social capital. In the research entitled, "Is there social capital in a social network site? Facebook use and college students' life satisfaction, trust, and participation," authored by the Kirk F. Key, Nam Support, and Sebastian Valenzuela. So the measures of a life satisfaction, social trust, civic and political participation, and the intensity of Facebook use are the main factors used in determining the effectivity of social media sites like Facebook in building social capital. So in the said study class, the researchers aim to analyze whether the intensity of using Facebook has positive associativity with a person's life satisfaction, social trust, and civic and political participation. So sa ilang research, ang usad ka tao with a large and diverse network of contacts are thought to have what? More social capital. than those person na naay gamay o less diverse network. So, class, although kita are often accumulated with social capital as a result of our daily interaction with our friends, co-workers, or even sa strangers. So, it is also possible, manggod, to make conscious investment in our social interaction. Because class, the main reason why we joined Facebook and spend time to that site is to keep in touch to our old friends, to catch up, to strengthen also our bonds with our colleagues. So by using manggod sa social network site, kita nyo tanan maka-maintain o maka-increase sa our social networks. So class, ang features aning Facebook is enable as kitang mga user to engage in behaviors that contributes to our social capital. Sa atong pag-invest in our social networks, it enable us to develop norms of trust and reciprocity, which are necessary for successful engagement in collective activities. Like for example, participation sa atong neighbors associations, in other word class, trust facilities working with others on common issue. Ang social capitals nag-allow sa tuad to access information and opportunities like job openings that are otherwise unavailable. So class, in terms of life satisfaction sa ilang research and social trust and participation, the extending this rationally to social network site, it could be expected na kitang mga tao who are actively participate in Facebook are more likely to experience connectiveness, di ba? Kaya maka-communicate man ta sa ato ang mga friends or mga dili na to mga friends inside or outside sa country, and maka-feel tag more happier. So, ang relationship between personal contentment and social network site also could be reciprocal. So, for instance, class, college students with a lower levels of life satisfaction could seek to participate in online network site. So, that to increase their personal well-being. So, for instance, also, people who belong to a wide networks of trusting members can receive more emotional support in terms of personal crises. So, this support class in turns could further enhance their trust in network members. Hence, ang Facebook use could be positively correlated to have online networks of likable and trusting members. Likewise, believing that others will not knowingly harm us may facilitate use of online network service. In other words, social trust and Facebook use may have a reciprocal relationship. So class, in terms pod sa atong civic and political participation, the development pod of social network site dedicated to faster civic and political engagement among kitang mga user, particular sa mga young people in seeking a loud voice to potentially of social media as a tool for collective action. So, nganong ang Facebook ay makapromote mag-social capital? So, using of Facebook, naamang siya strong association with maintaining or solidifying existing offline relationship as opposed to meeting new people. So, the strongest relationship, however, has a between Facebook use and bridging social capital. So, ang social network site interacts with psychological well-being that Facebook might provide a greater benefit sa mga user who have low self-esteem and low life satisfaction. So, si Facebook helps with our personal identity construction, one of the key to motivate for social media consumption by enabling multiple channels for interpersonal feedback and peer acceptance. So, to sum it up, ilang research is they found out that we find out the positive relationship between intensity of Facebook use and social life satisfaction, social trust, civic engagement, and political participation. So, positive daw na ang Facebook is effective siya to build social capital.
Hi everyone, I am Judilyn de la Calzada and I am going to discuss the internet and civic engagement. What is civic engagement? When you hear the word civic engagement, what comes into your mind? Maybe local cleanups, community gardening, donating blood, and many other examples of civic participation activities. Civic engagement pertains to the work or activities of an individual or a group of people concerning about the civic values of the community. In other words, civic engagement is any individual or group activity addressing issues of public concern. It is primarily focused on political and community-related activities. What is Internet civic engagement? The civic engagement in Internet is a several single or cluster commission talking about civic issues as well as working with the help of each other, whether the actions are related to politics or not with regards in using the internet. Civic engagement includes both paid and unpaid forms of political activism, environmentalism, and community and national service. And as we all know, the internet plays an increasingly important part of everyday life for people around the world. With the internet, it is possible to access almost any informations, communicate with anyone else in the world, and do much more. Differences in purpose of civic engagement and internet. There is a huge difference between the civic engagement and the internet. One of these differences is on the way the people engage themselves to the community in both non-political and political activities. On civic engagement, you are involving yourself to the community face-to-face or directly. Unlike in the internet, you are participating with the use of online connection and not a personal connection. The purpose of these two is both have the ability to express the people's feeling and thought, and the people can participate or involve themselves to the community. Even though the internet will take the place, traditional political doings will continue the field of some people with great heights of rapids in learning. Most of the participants in online political activities such as signing an online application or creating a political involvement in transmitting a government official are those people who are prosperous and knowledgeable. Traditional political activities are most common among the well-educated and financially well-off, regardless whether they take place online or offline. On social networking sites, income-related differences are more modest, but civic engagement in these spaces is still most prevalent among those with higher educational level. Moreover, since the millennials are further expected to use the internet than the others, like seniors, the involvement gap among comparatively unengaged greater than engaged middle-aged grown persons that naturally symbolizes disconnected administrative movement is fewer obvious in addressing the governmental participation through the internet. The internet is now part of the fabric of everyday civic life. Half of those who are involved in political or community group communicate with other group members using tools such as email or group websites. The internet provides a free and convenient platforms for the public to obtain political information and participate in political life. Now, let us proceed to the next reporter to discuss on what are the types of civic engagement.
Types of civic engagement. First, we have direct service, offering your individual efforts, vitality, and time to speak and express your thoughts to help and provide the needs of the community. Examples like volunteering and outreach program, or even sa mga barangay activities like someone nangitagbo or cleanup drive every week or magtabang-tabang ng panglimpyo or mangibot sa mga sagbot kilid-kilid sa dalan. Next, community research. This type of civic engagement focuses on discovering the probable assets, challenges, and social problems in the community as well as in coming up with the best possible solutions to the current problem. It is where you or a group engage in local government meetings or hearings, like share ideas about problems arising in the community, especially isa mo sa mga naapektuhan sa problema. Dako kay nangatabang in behalf sa mga tao sa community and also able to work or collaborate with them to figure out how to solve that problem. Kasagaran ani isa ka ng agriculture or issues about health. Next, advocacy and education. It involves the implementation of different ways to persuade the government or the decision of the corporate to make a decision that the entire civic will benefit. It also involves organizing to bring about political or social change or to show support for, bring awareness to, or promote a particular cause or policy. Diri is where you engage in a bigger platform. For example, you are an advocate of animal welfare. You can suggest a policy to the specific government department or send them a letter for them to be able to know your concern. Same goes in terms of education. We know a lot of organizations that help to promote a better education. Capacity building. The help and participation of the different sectors in the community will make an improvement and develop current resources or create new capitals that will be used to find the solutions and come up to a precise answer to the specific problems and to make the community become better. Kani siya is with participation sa lain-laing sectors within the community. Kumbaga, collaboration sa government ug laing organization sa community. Ang mga activities ani nila or mga projects is like developing systems or mag-create sila og bag-ong assets or resources na makasolve sa problem arising within the community and make it better. Next, with political involvement, it concerns the involvement of a person in political activities such as participating in campaign and voting the right person to serve the people. Very accurate ni siya sa situation dito sa Pilipinas karon kay new local and national government officials. So diri nga involvement sa tao sa political activities like sa campaign, daghan tag makita nga naga-volunteer nga mga tao giyasuportahan ilang kanya-kanyang candidates this coming election. So, ang pinaka-importante nga involvement na registered voters, isang pag-vote nato sa tamang tao where they will serve well and support the people for the betterment, not just the community, but the whole country. So guys, vote wisely. Next, socially responsible persevere. Being responsible in all the time on whatever you are doing, your actions must be always in ethical regardless if it is a personal or professional life. Engaging in big or small environment or community, with or without, we should be responsible in all our actions and decisions, for it will reflect to ourselves and also to the community. Next, we have Ms. Bacamante for the other types of civic engagement.
This is Kimberly Di Bacamante and I'm going to discuss to you about this. Philanthropic. Everybody say philanthropic. So, unsa man na siya ang philanthropic? So, ang philanthropic day, guys, is being part and volunteer to the projects of the government or non-government organizations to raise funds and use this to provide the needs or donate something to the people of the community. So, I hope and I believe that kitang tanan naka-impart na gunani nga mga buluhaton nga nahimutang volunteer sa ilang mga projects sa mga different organization nga maka-raise og fund para naay ika-donate or naay ika-provide needs of the kind of people of the community nga katong nanginahanglan. sama na lang sa naay mga disaster, mga nana gani siya nga mga instances. So I believe nga nana tay idea ni tanan because kini is makita na to ni siya sa community, sa school na exist yun ni siya. So participation in association. Unsa diay siya? So a type of participation that encourages a person to be involved in the existing organizations of the community that may improve your socialization skills to have a better foundation and better association in your community. So mao ni siya katong mga nag-encourage ka person nga pangapil mo ani nga organization because kana maka-help pud ni sa inyo ha, maka-help pud ni sa lain tao. Wala na kana mao na siya ang mga kuan kanang mao na siya ang participation in association. So nag-encourage kag mga tao to be involved sa mga existing mga organizations nga naa sa ilang community. What is civic engagement organization? So the term civic engagement, wala siya standard definition and it could be applied to a range of activities. Example of this includes mga local cleanups, tutoring, donating blood, membership in community associations, voting, census participation, writing lawmakers, protest, and civil disobedience. I know nakitang tanan agina og ani especially karon nga naatay tutoring, nakahimo na ba pag-tutor ang tanan? Nakahimo tag civic engagement organization because required sa eskwelahan, right? Required siya sa atong barangay, right? And ako lang po i-insert guys that hindi lang kita mamuhat ani tungod kay required siya, but it can help us as individuals. So local cleanup, so I know that naka-impart ta naka-experience na taani, nakakita po tag na yung mga nag-donate og blood. So malay natin, kita na ang sunod nga mag-donate og blood, nana. So, kuan jud kanang ano siya ang civic engagement organization and kabalo ko nga kitang tanan nagka-impart na ani. And ato lang yung padayonon guys because daghan og matabangan and matabangan po nato tong sarili. So these are some of the civic engagement organization that the Philippines has. So daghan kaayo tag organization diri sa nag-exist diri sa Philippines. Usa na dito ang Philippine Red Cross. So I hope kay ila taning tanan no. Unta wala kailani kay very kuan ni sila, popular ni sila nga organization. The purpose of this organization is to help and serve the people on their various offered services all over the Philippines. These are some services that they have such as national flood, managing the disasters, youth services, and so on. So, daghan kay function ang Philippine Red Cross. Grabe kayo ni sila makahatag ng help sa atong community because wala lang kayo ni sila nakafocus on managing the disasters but tanan aspects donating blood, from kung basta daghan kayo ni sila o kanang mga function, daghan kayo ni sila mga activities pod. And I know that natay mga former Red Cross members dire. And I hope na mapadayon ta sa to patinabangon guys, chares. Bitaw wali char. So maupo ni silang one of the nag-exist the organization there is a Philippines. Gawad Kalinga or to give care. So are you familiar with this? Gawad Kalinga. I hope we are familiar with this, no? Nani sa tong barangay. The goal of this organization is to eliminate the shortage and at least provide some basically need of more than 1 million of families, as well as re-establishing the trust and dignity of the poor people. So, very kuan kay ni sa tong barangay no sa mga less fortunate na mga tao, naghatag ni sila og livelihood, ang gawad kalinga, naghatag ni sila og ng na sila yung mga daghan kay ni sila og kanang mga panghatag nga mga opportunities para to eliminate the poverty, to end the poverty. So daghan kay na sila og mga opportunities nga ipanghatag sa tuwang mga kababayan, no. So mo ni siya isa sa organization, civic engagement organizations. So, Greenpeace Philippines. Unsa ning Greenpeace? Mura man ni siya katong niyakti, HRS. This is one of the volunteer organization in the Philippines which is very active in doing some stuff for the environment. Their main crusades are to stop the climate change and preserve the environment to have a better place to live in. So, Greenpeace, ilhan man kaayo no nga nagakuan dyan sila sa environment. So, Greenpeace organization, guys, is sila mga anti-climate change nga organization nga nagapromote dyan sila og clean and green nga environment sama sa pag reforestation so that we will have the better place to live in.
Good morning, everyone. And my topic is all about impacts and importance of civic engagement. Based on the study, it shows that once of the populations participated in while making a decision for the organization of the community are much more appropriate and utilized than in any other civic engagement organization. Having this kind of organization, it's more effective and inclusive. A lot of people benefits from the civic engagement because there are a probability that it will help to develop the social interaction that will bring to the people with the organization to work together and carry all encouraging norms, as well as it can provide to them the feelings that all things that they are doing is essential every time. O diba, naka-benefit siya from the other people because ang civic engagement has the potential to empower young adults, increase their self-determination, and give them the skills and self-confidence that they need to enter the workforce. Example of these: volunteering, participating in group activities, and community gardening. In community gardening, naka-socialize na ta sa other people o nakatabang pa ta sa atong community, which is na ginatawag na to og civic engagement. Next, internet-based engagement, a new form of civic participation. The online platform in evading the community whether they like it or not. This is other of modern way of involving yourself in participating political or non-political discussion. In the investigation of local participation, the researcher considered form analysis such that membership organizational, consumption of media, and the discussion of interpersonal. The researcher examines the significance of the factors that being mentioned above as all of the involvement in the community through online. The researcher uses the structural calculation, this representation to enrich communication diagonally to ethnetics. They examine the volume of online platform. Civic participation. Kani siya kay nag-refers to the participating in your community para ma-develop inyong knowledge, skills, and values to make a difference in your society. Kaya ang goal ani sa civic participation para itaas ang standard and quality life sa tuwang community through commitment and motivation. Kaya ang civic participation, kaya di ba nag-include din siya ang communities working together or individuals working alone in both political and non-political actions. kay kani para protektahan ang atong public values or making a change in your community. Kaya ang civic participation kay para lang po ni sa atuang community. Civic engagement or civic participation, kani sila kay individual or group activity, nag-address ni siya sa issue o public concerns. Unang ginatawag lang na ay mga nag-research kung ganahan ba taani or dili. Pero kabalutan na kaning program kay makatabang sa tuwang sarili o makatabang sa atuang community. And that's all my topic, and thank you for listening.